Last week, I shared with the world the Lillikoal team my friend Day 2'd with in Knoxville. While working on that video, I took that team to 3rd place in a Gertie's Gaming Night tournament. I decided to torture myself and also record all the games with commentary while staying up late to play in the tournament. For more info on the team used, follow the link on screen or in the description for the breakdown and review video. This video is long enough as is, so I'm going to jump right into the game. The open team sheets for all of my opponents are listed in the description. Okay, so for game 1, against this, I am thinking, so it's pretty straight up hyper offense stuff. We got the Shenpao, Focus Sash, there's a Stellar Terra there, Banded, Normal Terra, Extreme Speed Dragonite, Booster Energy Flutter, Wellspring Over, everything's pretty straightforward. The Raging Bolt is Life Orb with Grass Terra, Entei is Assault Vest, Normal Terra as well, is the Dragonite. Now we're faster than pretty much everything with Sun and Lilligant, and to turn off Extreme Speed and Sucker Punch, I think what we'll do is we'll bring in DD and Lilligant with Torkoal in the back. And without Assault Vest on Raging Bolt, Armarouge pairs pretty well into the rest of this. Yeah, I think if it goes, especially if it goes for like the Terra Grass to block this expected sleep, should be fine this way. Okay, so we got the Entei and the Ogerpon. So likely we can expect Follow Me from the Ogerpon, but we're gonna make him do it. That way, if he doesn't do it, then Indeedee not getting hit by 2 Pokemon. And I think we're in a better spot to just trick room here compared to most leads. Yeah, so he goes for the Follow Me. Our best case scenario would be actually for Entei to straight up take out Lilligant here. Snarl's fine too. We're likely still going to see a Follow Me from the Ogerpon, so we're just going to close combat into Entei. And knowing there's likely a Snarl coming again, there's not really any good reason to not just Dazzling Gleam here. Ideally, we just want one of our Pokemon to get taken out so we can get the free switch into Armarouge or Torkoal. Perfect, that's what we were hoping for. Because without the sashes, without anything else impeding them, our Pokemon should be able to just like 2-tap everything. So with the only Sashmon being Shenpao and having like spread moves and everything, we're not going to start there though. Entei can't really do anything to Armarouge, and Ogerpon's gonna have to Follow Me for Entei to not go down to this Meteor Beam. We're gonna Terra here just in case. And do we keep Indeedee or do we switch to Torkoal? I think we'll Helping Hand in case of the Follow Me so that we can't take out the Ogerpon. Or just in case it doesn't Follow Me and the Assault Vest is enough to keep Entei alive. Okay, so our Terra obviously goes first because we're under Trick Room. I'm not sure what he's expecting, so it's hard to say what he's gonna do. Okay, I want to Helping Hand goes first. Oh, no Follow Me. Okay, perfect. No Terra, no Follow Me. This should cleanly take out the Entei then. Okay, so that was nice and easy. I'm gonna assume we're gonna get a follow me or an attack from Ogerpon. We still haven't seen any Terras. I'm gonna armor cannon the Shenpao and Dazzling Gleam. Or let's Expanding Force and follow me, actually. Ogerpon needs to go down first, and probably Terra Ogerpon. If it's Terra Shenpao, then we win. Yeah, Terra Ogerpon. So, what's probably going to happen is we're going to see a Protect or an Ice Spinner from Shenpao and an Ivy Cudgel from Ogerpon. Okay, so yes, no Protects. Oh, so the Terra and Follow Me, he was expecting an Armor Cannon. At +1, do we take this out? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends on their bulk. Yeah, that's a pretty bulky one. Okay, that's fine. So we still have Torkoal in the back, and we have a couple turns of Trick Room left. One Sucker Punch from Shenpao definitely doesn't take out Armarouge here. But he's probably protecting with both. We're gonna Armor Cannon and Heat Wave just in case, because Ogerpon is significantly less of a threat. We want the Heat Waves for the burn chance on Shenpao if he doesn't Double Protect, but Double Protect is still the most likely thing. Yeah, I figured. Okay. So we have an unknown Pokemon in the back, a Terrid, Ogerpon, a Shenpao that has Sash, Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, and Sacred Sword. Ice Spinner almost certainly will take out Armarouge. Unless if we get really, really lucky. So we're gonna Protect and Trick Room, because that's our best out. And let's see what happens. Okay, there's the Ice Spinner. We don't live that, though. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's okay. That's the benefit of playing best of threes. We still have 2 more games to pull this back. So I think the play instead is to lean entirely into Trick Room. Entei isn't really doing a whole lot in front of Raging Bolt. So what we can probably do is bring in the Raging Bolt and bring in the Indeedee. And have King Gambit and Torkoal in the back. And if there's an Entei lead and we're expecting a Snarl, we're gonna switch to King Gambit. Do the good old trick them into proccing my Defiance thing. Okay, so we have the same lead from my opponent. And seeing as we have a Grass Terra, it's kind of 50-50 whether we can expect a Snarl or whether we can expect a Sacred Fire. But I don't picture him going Sacred Fire that blindly. and if I don't Terra, it's pretty bad for him. So I'm hoping that Trick Room and the Switch is safe. Okay, so there's a Horn Leech, which does nothing. And there's the Snarl. So now we have a free +2 on the King Gambit. And a Trick Room that's about to happen. So there's really not a whole lot my opponent can do for really the rest of this game. So we're in a Kowtow, because Entei does not survive this. And I think we will switch to Raging Bolt. Because we're either going to see a Follow Me or a Spiky Shield from Ogerpon. I can't imagine Ogerpon is just going to do its thing. If we see Follow Me and the Sacred Fire into Entei, it's not ideal, but it's not the worst, because Entei doesn't really do a whole lot to the rest of this team anyway. And Ogerpon is actually one of the more... Okay, you don't Follow Me, perfect. Ogerpon is one of the more problematic things on the peak team, so I wouldn't mind taking out Ogerpon over Entei there. Taking out Entei is just more beneficial, though. Yeah, see, that's not doing a whole lot. Okay, so that's a Flutter Mane with booster speed. Oh, booster special attack. Okay, so they're probably both going to protect both Pokemon. I'm going to Kowtow into the Flutter, just since it's less devastating if I'm wrong. In fact, I'm just going to double attack into the Flutter, because I can handle Ogerpon a lot better than I can handle Flutter Mane if I'm wrong about the protects. If he takes out King Gambit, it's still not the end of the world, but it just feels slightly bad. I think it's a roll, though. This is a very offensive Ogerpon. Nope, that's fine. Because now we can do this. So we're going to go for the Terrafire Eruption here. So Ogerpon's going to have to Terra to survive the Eruption, and Flutter should go down to it. So we're going to Thunderbolt the Flutter slot, so that if he switches to Shenpao, it goes down, or if he goes Follow Me on Ogerpon, it goes down. It covers a lot of ground this way. And giving the Flutter booster, giving the Sun to the Flutter doesn't matter because it's already gotten the boost from Booster Energy. So there's my Terra. Obviously that one's going to happen first either way, because we are the fastest thing on the field with the Torkoal. No Terra. Okay, I'm not sure what my opponent was expecting. This should take out one or the other, or Thunderbolt to clean up. Nice and easy. Alright, I don't really see what my opponent has for this. Got one more turn of Trick Room, we got two Thunderclaps. We're actually going to switch to Indeedee here, because my opponent's probably just going to protect. If for whatever reason he doesn't, we go for him. There we go. I don't really see anything wrong with how that game went, so I don't think he's going to fall for the Snarl trick again. But otherwise, I think we're fine. Because I really don't expect Snarl to work again. So we're not even going to bother bringing King Gambit, because I'm guessing he's not going to fall for the switch. We're going to bring Armarouge, and he's probably going to not Snarl, or he's going to like Sacred Fire expecting a switch. Armarouge after Terra can take anything the Entei can throw at it anyway. So worst possible case scenario, we'd eat a Snarl before the Meteor Beam, don't die to the Snarl, and then still Meteor Beam the Entei and take a chunk out of it. Alright, let's see if there's the same lead. Oh, okay, very different. But this is one that we're pretty much fine into. This is a pretty clean, we just sort of do what we want lead. My opponent's pretty much forced to Ice Spinner here, but that won't KO the Indeedee on its own. And yeah, so the Ice Spinner shouldn't take out Indeedee. Indeedee will need to attack. Will eat 2 attacks. Will follow me. We should be in a pretty good clear here. Unsurprisingly, there's probably a Stellar Terra from Shenpao, but from what I have seen... Oh, okay, Terra from Flutter. Fairy Terra from Flutter. Okay, so there's Dazzling Gleam, which I'm really not sure about. I didn't even take out the Indeedee. Okay. What do we do now? I actually would have been better off if Indeedee went down, I think. I'm gonna switch Armarouge rather than risking him. We're gonna switch out, and we're just gonna do a Dazzling Gleam, hoping to take out the Sash on Shenpao. Okay, there's the Protect expected. Okay, so there was still an attack coming. There wasn't really a clear way to know who was doing what, and that's pretty good. I'm guessing we're seeing another Dazzling Gleam. And now Indeedee's gonna go down. So... Raging Bolt won't get suckered by Shenpao, and we'll Thunderclap it before the sucker. Fluttermane's probably going to protect here, so we're going to go for the Heat Wave. We'll go for a Heat Wave just in case of Terra from Sucker Punch from Shenpao. But we're going to Thunderclap it as well with this Sash. We're going to do the Terra Grass because I don't want to take a Dazzling Gleam from that Flutter like this, even though it's most likely protecting this turn. Very much would rather play it safe than sorry. Okay, no protects, no attack, no suckers. Oh, that's a sucker, yeah, right. See? Heat Wave was the call. This is why I like to use Heat Wave when I'm expecting I'm going to take damage, because it's just better to be safe. If we used Eruption there, we were going to do so much less to the Flutter, and I don't know if we still kill the Flutter. or sorry, if we survive this Dazzling Gleam. But now the Flutter dies to Thunderclap. It's in Thunderclap range. And we've gotten rid of one of those key pieces of my opponent's team, which is Shenpao. My opponent's burned their Terra, and now we're left with Armarouge and Raging Bolt with, I believe, 3 turns left to Trick Room. 2 turns left to Trick Room. So depending on what my opponent sends out, Dragonite. There's no Shenpao to boost its E-Speed, and it can't Terra. So we're gonna just Meteor Beam the Dragonite slot and Thunderclap Fluttermane in case it attacks, or... I guess Bolt would have done the same. Bolt would have been better to cover for a switch, but it protected anyway, so the difference is moot. We just have to live one of whatever Dragonite's doing, and I think we're in the clear. Oh, it didn't even bother Extreme Speeding. Okay, now we just gotta hit this Meteor Beam. Perfect. So Flutter is going to be stuck in a position where it goes down to Thunderclap, I believe, even after Trick Room is finished. So we're gonna Armor Cannon Ogerpon, assuming a Follow Me or a Spiky Shield. I'm gonna Thunderbolt the Flutter. No, there's no reason not to Weather Ball, just for the max damage. We'll Weather Ball Flutter. If there's a Follow Me, it still should go down to Armor Cannon, and then Flutter will go down to Weather Ball. If there's a Protect on the Ogerpon, then Flutter should still go down to Weather Ball. By splitting our targets, we're preparing for 2 Protects, we're preparing for Follow Me. We're covering all of our bases here. I don't really see... Except from like a lucky double Protect, I don't see how my opponent gets out of this. So there's the Follow Me. Armor Cannon should definitely take him out. It's Sunny, we're +1. It's not resistant. That thing just goes down. Nice and cleanly. And I believe Weather Ball takes out the Flutter here, unless it's extremely bulky. But we're max modest special attack in the sun. Beautiful. There we go. Alright, so that's round 1 finished. Alright, so we have got Terra Ghost, Psychic Seed, and DD, typical Life Orb, Landorus, Covert Cloak, Terra Fire Whimsicott, with Energy Ball instead of Moonblast. Fluttermane is Specs, pretty standard set. Scizor is Clear Amulet, Technician, Water Terra, and Regidrago is Steel Terra, Dragon Fang with Terra Blast instead of Earth Power. So, I don't see any good reason why we can't just Sun Trick Room. The Regidrago is slightly concerning. Very slightly. But... yeah, there's no taunt, there's nothing that really one-shots in DD here. Worst case scenario for me, I believe, is if they bring Regidrago and DD and they reverse Trick Room. But yeah, okay. So let's just... yeah, Torkoal kind of goes hard here, Armarouge kind of goes hard here, and I think Raging Bolt finishes us off pretty well. Actually, I guess King Gambit's a better lead into the Regidrago. And we'll go... yeah, Armarouge, Torkoal. Let's see how that goes. Alright, DD Regidrago. That's the lead I was mildly concerned about, but the Regidrago can't really scratch me. So... I'm expecting either a Follow Me or a Trick Room from my opponents in DD. I think we'll just go for... If they reverse Trick Room, it doesn't kill us. I'd rather have it and then reverse it. No Terra on the Regidrago, so Terraing my Indeedee is entirely safe here. And going for a Swords Dance, like what... Between Draco Meteor, Dragon Energy, and Dazzling Gleam, not a whole lot is really going to happen to my King Gambit here. Oh, so he went for their Helping Hand on the Dragon Energy. That's perfect. That is quite literally the ideal turn 1 here. Now I'm expecting my opponent to want me to hit Regidrago while he protects, and Indeedee will probably follow me or Trick Room itself, so we're just going to go for a Dazzling Gleam and a Kowtow into the Indeedee. We don't want my opponent to be able to turn off Trick Room. If Regidrago gets the Dragon Energy off here and King Gambit goes down for this, we're honestly in an amazing spot. If he Terras to do so, for whatever reason, even better. Okay, so there's the Terra from Regidrago. Okay. So it's probably going to be a Terra Blast into the Indeedee. But that's pretty much fine. Okay, so no defensive action from my opponent, but I'm glad that we played it safe. So it's either defensive Terra Steel to not take a bunch of damage from Dazzling Gleam, or we're looking at a Steel Terra Blast here. But even then, the Terra Blast isn't... Yeah, I don't think that kills Indeedee. He's not very strong without Dragon's Maw. And Indeedee's got... Yeah, it doesn't even deal half. Without the Dragon's Maw boost, and with Indeedee's plus special defense, that was pretty much perfect. Landorus pretty much has to protect here. Or does he? We're still slightly more concerned... No, we can just take out Landorus with things that are in the back. So we're gonna... Kowtow... We don't care about it, so we're gonna Kowtow Landorus regardless. Okay, so no double protect. We made the wrong call, but I don't think Regidrago KOs either of my Pokemon, and that's the key part here. I've talked about this in other videos, but it's important to, when making plays, you want to make what's the least impactful when you're wrong. I don't mind that as much as I would have minded like losing like one to like Earth Power and then Indeedee being weak to do anything. Because now we can just do this. My opponent's burned their Terra. Landorus can't protect. Nothing wants to switch into this. What does my opponent realistically do about this Torkoal now? Not a whole lot. So I was right that Indeedee Regidrago was by a slight margin the most awkward lead this team could bring against me, but it's also not super concerning in the end. We saw that King Gambit can take a Helping Hand Dragon Energy. We saw that Indeedee can take 2 Terra Blasts. I don't know what... I guess it's just a sacrificial switch in, but Helping Hand Interruption should still take out the Flutter Mane. I assume Regidrago is going to protect. Yeah. The Regidrago is also neutered, and that's an important part to remember. It's -2 on special attack right now. We have 1 turn of Trick Room left. I assume my opponent's just gonna protect. So I guess we just Helping Hand Eruption into that. Oh, right, he double protected. That's important. I forgot about that detail. Now we're in a much cleaner spot than I expected. So Landorus has Earth Power, Sandseer Storm, and Sludge Bomb. If it goes for Sandseer Storm, I don't believe it can take out Indeedee with it. So, and if he goes to Earth Power and a Torkoal, it will work. I think overall our best play is to go Trick Room Eruption. If he attacks Indeedee, it should go down to Eruption. If he attacks Torkoal, Indeedee gets off Trick Room. Perfect. Now here's going to be the fun thing. I wonder if he thinks protecting here is the right call. So I believe Dazzling Gleam will do slightly more than if we go... Actually, Helping Hand Armor Cannon is probably the safer play. I don't think we need the special attack boost. I think with Helping Hand plus Sun, this takes him out. Unless it's a very bulky Landorus. Okay, he went for Protect. So if we did go for Meteor Beam there, we would be guaranteed to KO with whatever this turn. But if we went for Meteor Beam and he went for Sandseer Storm after not KOing, it would have been pretty bad. So, you know, playing it safe, right? Let's see if we can get there. We have 3 turns of Trick Room left, so if he survives this, and he Sandseers and doesn't kill one, we still are okay. Oh, he just went to the other Protect. Does this KO? It really should. There we go. Just what we like to see. So game 1 went pretty well, and I don't think that there's anything they can do that's scarier to us than what we just saw. I think we're best off just playing into the same sort of thing going on again. Armarouge was an excellent finisher. It KO'd just what it needed to. Kingambit survives almost anything this team can throw at it. Realistically, the only thing on this team that can actually scratch Kingambit is Landorus. Alright, there's the Landorus and Indeedee. I'm guessing Landorus is going to probably try and take out Indeedee. We might see like a Helping Hand Sandseer Storm or something. If he goes Earth Power into Kingambit, we don't have any safe switch-ins. But we can recover fine if Indeedee lives to Trick Room. So we're just going to go Kowtow Trick Room. If Indeedee expects me to Trick Room and tries to counter Trick Room, like after seeing game 1, we might live to get to Kowtow it. He can't Oko Indeedee, I don't think. Wow, that was the miss of the century! Oh, I am so sorry, Scott. This game couldn't have gone better for me. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend that I earned that. I mean, we were gonna get get Chirpmove up, and they were gonna try and stop it. What I'm most curious about is, would we have lived the Sandsphere Storm? Scizor can't protect or anything, so we're just gonna kowtow into this. That's what they want me to do, though. I think. Yeah, we'll kowtow Scizor and will follow me. Kind of want the switch here. No Terras, no Protects. How does that kowtow do? Okay. Ooh, that's rough. But we're still in a recoverable position. We definitely don't survive an Earth Power. Maybe we survive a Sandsphere if that's what we went for, or... No, we're okay. We don't survive that, I don't think, but... I was just curious if we would have survived it, like, if he had hit me on that first turn. I wonder if it would have been better or worse for us. But I think we have our opponents in a lock now. Landorus can't take an Eruption. And the Regidrago likely cannot take Eruption plus Armor Cannon, regardless of whether it Terra is. So we're gonna Terra Eruption. Yeah, we're gonna Terra Eruption. And we're gonna Meteor Beam in case it doesn't Terra, or in case it's just a double protect. Landorus definitely cannot take it, so it's either gonna protect or switch. But I don't think he's gonna switch, knowing I'm reasonably surely gonna use Eruption. So we saw the same thing as game 1, except Scizor instead of Flutter, which is fair. Flutter just sort of switched in and died. Scizor at least had a chance of doing something useful, but I don't think there's any good out for my opponent here. Torkoal, of course, gets to Terra first. This is turn 3 of Trick Room, so he can't stall me out with Protect. And Armarouge should outspeed Scizor if it comes to that point. I'm not super concerned here. If it's Protect, then we're even better off because of the Meteor Beam. Yeah. This was just a win-win turn. Yeah, so now we just go Eruption and Expanding Force, and no combination of Terras lets him live this. He's got to stall out with Protect, hoping. If he Terras the Drago to survive the Expanding Force, it dies to the Eruption. It might even just die to Eruption anyway, because it hits like a truck. Okay, so he's sacrificing Scizor. That's interesting. I see what's happening now. This is the last turn of Trick Room. So he's gonna protect. We're just gonna attack anyway. Doesn't really make a difference. So we're now in a rough spot, unfortunately. But he has to Sandsteer. So we can hope that because this is a spread move, maybe one of us will live. One of my Pokemon will live. Or we can hope that one of them, it misses one of them. We're gonna go for Heat Wave in case it hits Torkoal and Torkoal lives, and we'll just do Armor Cannon. If one of them lives or misses, should take it out. Unfortunate. Okay. We'll go to game 3 then. Okay, so we know Indeedee can survive just about anything that gets thrown at it. So we're going to try this in a way that's a little different. I'm going to bring Lilligant in the back with King Gambit. Because Torkoal can, as we can see, as seen, can punish them pretty much fine on its own. Let's see what happens. I think if he has the same lead... Okay, of course he got the same lead. Now, my opponent's gonna probably expect me to Trick Room again. He can shut off Trick Room if he doesn't miss the Sandseer Storm. So what we're gonna try instead is... I've seen some Landorus players Terra in a situation like this to avoid Sucker. He didn't. And we're in the same situation. I'm reasonably faithful that he's not going to Terra. And Lando's quite squishy. I think with a Helping Hand, the Sucker Punch might take it out. And then Indeedee might just set Trick Room for me. Okay, so Indeedee went for its own Helping Hand. So let's see if the Sucker gets there. Or if we can have a really nice miss again. That's pretty unfortunate. Surprisingly, we can still get out of this, though. So we had Terra Dark on the King Gambit on this team, that would have been helpful. I still don't think we super need it. That's why it would have been helpful, though. We're gonna Sleep Powder the Indeedee and Protect on Torkoal. Because unless we miss the Sleep Powder, Lilligant is guaranteed to live this turn. And we want to Sleep Powder in case Indeedee feels the need to, like, do their own Trick Room. Okay. Okay, so the Sleep Powder connects. And now we're in a pretty great spot. Because we outspeed the Landorus, so we don't have to after you. We can just Solar Blade the Landorus. If he protects, and we can just Eruption. And actually, we're gonna after you just in case Indeedee wakes up. That's probably the safer play. After you Torkoal, and we'll Eruption so that Indeedee, like, for sure goes down. because we're not really going to do anything with the Ghost Terra at this point. There's no fake outs, there's no fighting moves. Defensively, it's not doing anything anymore either. It's at 1 HP. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's actually better here. So we go after you again and just hoping DD stays asleep. Otherwise we kind of lose. Okay, awesome. That's just what we needed to see. Now let's see what my opponent's other Pokemon are. Okay, so there's a Regidrago. And a Scizor, okay. So the best play here is we're going to Sleep Powder the Regidrago. If it protects, it's fine. Or do we want to guarantee that the Scizor goes down? It might... It's tricky, right? Because if it protects and Scizor attacks Lilligant, then we lose Lilligant. But if we Sleep Powder yeah, if we after you... Well, we'll go after you into Torkoal. He knows I have Sleep Powder. He knows I might try to click Sleep Powder, so I think Protect is slightly more likely. Okay. I forgot about the Scizor's Terra, but we might still take it out. Torkoal hits pretty hard, and Scizor is not all that bulky. Sun plus Charcoal plus Terra. Okay, listen. Oh, we went into the Torkoal. Okay. No, he's got Bullet Punch still. Okay, that's why. Just have to hope he doesn't realize what's going on. Yeah, okay. And there we go. Unfortunate, because I really feel like Game 2 we could have got there if we positioned better. I guess if I was playing smarter, I should have paid more attention to the Water Terra on the Scizor and Sleep Powder into the Scizor. But it was definitely a coin flippy kind of turn regardless. Okay, so we've got just like aggressive balance. We got the Howl, Burning Bulwark, Heat Crash, Gouting Fire that's been going around since the last regional. Your typical Ghost, Sash, Shenpao, AV, Fairy, King Gambit with Low Kick and Terra Blast. No Iron Head. Relevant. Yeah, Fairy Terra is pretty good into that King Gambit.
Fluttermane with Specs, Fairy Terra, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Icy Wind, Rillaboom with Miracle Seed, Grass Terra, Woodhammer, Grassy Glide, Fake Out, High Horsepower, and everyone's just the same Water Ogerpon. Man, I'm not really getting a lot of good Lillikoal games this tournament so far, which is unfortunate, but I don't see any good reason why, like, just the tried and true stuff all doesn't seem to beat this. Do we want King Gambit or Bolt? Bolt doesn't really do a whole lot here, except into like Terra Ogerpon, but King Gambit kills that anyway. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine like this. Now, except for literally Shenpao, Armarouge can handle almost any lead we see. Okay, cool. So this is one of those leads that we can pretty cleanly just do what we want against. They can't... I suppose they could double into Indeedee and take her out. But if they do that, that also means we're getting a kill with Armarouge into Gouging Fire. I think we're fine to go like Meteor Beam into Gouging Fire and Trick Room. I don't think he's going to expect me to play Ballsy like that on the first game. So I'm expecting him to see like a Howl and an attack. Okay, so there's a Terra from my opponent. He goes for the Water Terra. I'm guessing we're going to see a Howl and an Ivy Cudgel, and he wants max damage into the Indeedee, so I'm guessing Indeedee might actually go down here. But not King Gambit, Armarouge is going to wall the Ogerpon anyway. Oh, he went for Breaking Swipe. So that means we're also going to see an Ivy Cudgel, which probably doesn't kill Indeedee if that's where it's going. It doesn't do anything to Armarouge. Okay. Yep, that's what I figured. So now we get a nice clean Meteor Beam into the Gouging Fire. Very nice. Gouging mid, I always say. Except on like my balance team. I liked it on that with like the Cresselia, because then you could like heal it while it buffs itself. I don't really like these teams. I know they're good, but they never feel as fun for me. So this Shenpao doesn't have Ice Spinner. You kind of have to sacrifice something here, though. It might just protect. Yeah, well, Armor Cannon and Dazzling Gleam. Because Ogerpon is not going to be able to kill Armarouge anyway, and if Shenpao doesn't protect, then it just goes down. I can see like a Follow Me. No, okay. So that thing's probably going to take out Indeedee, which is perfectly fine. Yeah. I think Indeedee for Gouging Fire is a pretty reasonable trade. Now, I kind of expect a protection move from Ogerpon, and it's not as bad for me if he doesn't, so we're definitely just going to go like Eruption Armor Cannon here, because Shenpao's got to go. If he goes for Follow Me, that's I guess kind of rough. But even with the resistance and special defense boost, we might take it out with the Eruption and Sun boosted Armor Cannon. Oh, it just went for the double protect. Okay. It feels really rough having to armor cannon this Shenpao in this situation. That's pretty much the only way we can guarantee it goes down. The good news is Armarouge isn't very susceptible to the other things left on the team except for Flutter, but Flutter doesn't have Protect. I feel like if he had Rilla, he would have used it here. I'm guessing we're going to see a King Gambit or... Oh, we lived that! Oh, yes, the Sun, right. We lived the crit! And it was Flutter Mane, okay. So now we just Expanding Force Heat Wave, and the best option my opponent has is to protect there. We have 2 turns of Trick Room. Yeah, Expanding Force plus Heat Wave. Maybe we get lucky and burn the Ogre Pawn if it doesn't protect. Yeah, see, Armor Cannon and Flutter wouldn't be safe because of the Follow Me. And does this KO? For +1, he's on terrain. There we go. Cleaning it up. So I'm kind of partial to the idea of having Armarouge and DD, switching in DD for King Gambit after terroring Armarouge so we can still survive whatever he throws at me. And then... I think we still do Torkoal. Lowering the power of Ivy Cudgel is really important. And the fact that it can just take a crit and not care. That's a pretty low attack investment, Ogre Pawn, because I've gotten no code in their Sun before by Ivy Cudgel. Let's see how this one goes. Okay. Okay, so we probably outspeed the King Gambit. So, I don't think I actually want to Trick Room right now. So we're going to Meteor Beam the Gouging Fire again, and we're going to switch to my own King Gambit. Because I'm guessing we're going to get a Kowtow at the NDD, or a Breaking Swipe. Okay, so he switches something into replace Gouging Fire. Oh, see, it's a great thing that we were switching. I guess maybe he tries to sucker Armarouge here. And the sucker will work, but since we're terraing, it's not going to kill us. Respectable, more than I expected. So we don't really care about that Rillaboom at all now. It's probably going to switch back out. I think we're just going to go for an Armor Cannon into King Gambit. Even if he Terras at +1 in the Sun, with the Assault Vest, I'm not sure if it'll Oko, but it'll deal a respectable chunk. Okay, so he's switching out the Rillaboom. So we have Rillaboom, King Gambit, Gouging Fire, and Flutter this time. If he Terras here, it's actually almost ideal. Okay, no, he just didn't bother. Okay. So we're at +1, but unfortunately we don't have Trick Room up. So Armarouge probably has to switch here, because it'll crumple to, like, whatever. He's definitely not going to Heat Crash into the Armarouge, so he's either going to Breaking Swipe or Howl. So I think we're good to Heat Wave here in case he switches Rilla. If he doubles into the Torkoal, that would be pretty surprising, so... Okay, so no switch. And there's the Terra. Terra Fairy, not unexpected. So what's he attacking with what? Okay, this is actually pretty... Breaking Swipe? If we see a Breaking Swipe from... Oh, that's fantastic! Can the Flutter take out the King Gambit? It probably can. So yeah, we'll Sucker. Torkoal's done its job, so we're just gonna Heat Wave and see what happens. I don't want to waste... Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna go for the King Gambit or the Torkoal. Okay, so he's confident Heat Crash will take out King Gambit. It probably will, but it's... King Gambit's pretty heavy. So I don't think it's a very high base power move, and it's likely not got a lot of attack investment. Oh yeah, there it is. That's fine. I think I think there's going to be a Rillaboom switch in, so I think we'll Expanding Force the Flutter slot specifically, and we'll Trick Room. Because Follow Me Trick Room is pretty predictable here, and it's not even that great for us, so... There we go! Look at that! We made a uncomfortable-ish read, but we were rewarded for it. Because Gouging Fire can't really do a whole lot to Armarouge. And he didn't even attack here, so Indeedee takes no damage. Very, very happy with that read. That was... I'm very proud of that. So we're Expanding Force in the Flutter Mane again, and I guess we'll just Dazzling Gleam to start chipping Gouging Fire, because it's not gonna Heat Crash an Armarouge. It might Heat Crash to DD, in which case Follow Me is pointless. It might Breaking Swipe, it might Howl. I don't know what his game plan is right now. Okay, that's a respectful amount. Okay, so there's a Heat Crash. Okay, so it won't survive a Meteor Beam, and I feel like, let's see here, we have 3 turns of Trick Room, so if we predict wrong and he protects this turn, the next turn, then we have 1 more turn after the boost that we'll have the Expanding Force to hit. So let's go for the Meteor Beam. So it goes to the Burning Bulwark this turn. That's just what we wanted to see. So we get our charge turn completely safe. Now next turn he's probably going to go for the Double Protect, and we just have to hope he doesn't get it. And he doesn't get it. This should be a clean KO and the match will be over. And that leaves us as 2-1 in the tournament. Okay, so we've got Tornadus, Fluttermane, Entei, Urshifu, Glamora, and Ogerpon. Sort of some hyper offense stuff going on with all like the defensive profile of Rocky Helmet on Torn, Sash, Dark Urshifu. Got the Power Her Meteor Beam Glamora, probably the inferior Meteor Beam user. Sun doesn't do a whole lot against this, so it's gonna be another Armarouge game. I think this team Raging Bolt does pretty well into compared to King Gambit. So yeah, we'll go Armarouge and DD, Raging Bolt, Torkoal. Luckily he doesn't have Rain Dance. So once we get Sun up, Raging Bolt can kind of just go to town. We don't have any like guaranteed fire resist except for Glamora. And I guess Entei. We have enough things for Entei. The Entei is Assault Vest, and it has Snarl, but the King Gambit doesn't place well to the rest of this team. Okay, so we're gonna go for a pretty simple Follow Me Trick Room here. I think we have to Terra in case Urshifu is going for the Wicked Blow and outspeeds. Yeah, we'll Terra. Unsurprisingly, no Terra from my opponent. So ideally, Ndidi lives this, and we get to Trick Room. That's the ideal turn here. Okay, so there's a Meteor Beam from Glamora. Does that KO Ndidi? After the special defense boost? No, I didn't think so. Now, my opponent's pretty likely to protect with at least one of them. And we're not very likely going to see an Earth Power into this slot. I think we're going to see more likely to protect from Glamora as it dies to one hit from Expanding Force Helping Hand. And we'll probably see a Wicked Blow into Armarouge, and also a Protect from Urshifu. An Earth Power into that slot would be unfortunate, but Wicked Blow into that slot is fine. Okay, so there's the Spiky Shield. If we were to see only one Protect, that's the one we wanted to see. Oh, that's fantastic. Hopefully he goes for the Wicked Blow into the Torkoal slot, but into the Indeedee slot's honestly fine too. Yeah. That Glimora is probably to expect me to Earth Power there. And it's sort of one of those things that falls under, it's okay if I'm wrong. I think if it attacks Torkoal, so Raging Bolt's a pretty safe switch in here. And even so, Earth Power won't KO the Raging Bolt if it's attacking into that slot. Okay, so there's a withdrawal of your Shifu. Makes sense. Into Entei. No, that's about what we expected. I'm kind of surprised Glimora didn't Terra. But I guess it was one of those situations where, you know, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I suppose Earth Power Dazzling Gleam would have been slightly smarter. Now we're pretty safe to do, like, much meaner things. Entei can't protect, and we're more scared of, but we are more scared of Glimora. I think it's go for a Dragon Pulse into Glimora. It probably can't take that, and then we're not super concerned about whether it Terras or not. Stomping Tantrum from Entei won't KO Armarouge, so he might go for the Snarl, or might just switch something else back in. Okay, so there's a Terra for my opponent. A defensive Grass Terra. That's fine. It makes the Meteor Beam less likely to OHKO. I mean, it's not going to OHKO now. I don't even know if it was going to without the Assault Vest, though. That's the thing. And what this does for us now is, if Armarouge survives this turn, we're very, very safe to go Expanding Force and double into that slot. Which means Entei will go down pretty much regardless, and it can't guarantee, and there's nothing that, there's no safe switch in. Yeah, fine, it's fine. It's either gonna be a Snarl or a Tantrum. Yeah, there's a Snarl. Not surprising. Armarouge is now down to neutral, though. So an Expanding Force will definitely take out Glimora, if not also take out Entei. And we're going to Weather Ball into the Entei slot because nothing wants to switch in and take that. If both Pokemon switch, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter which switches, because I believe the Expanding Force takes out one or both anyway. If there is a switch. Yeah. So we have a Sash, HP, or Shifu. And an unknown. That's going to be either a Tornadus, a Flutter, or a Ogerpon. Okay, so it's an Ogerpon. I think we're just gonna switch in Indeedee. Or is that better? I think we're just gonna Trick Room, expecting Urshifu to attack. And we're gonna Weather Ball into Urshifu. Urshifu's the one that needs to go, and it's fine to let Armarouge die here to get indeed the safer switch in. Because Ogerpon isn't going to hurt Raging Bolt. It can't do nothing to me. That's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. We lived it thanks to the sun. Oh, that's perfect. So now we're going to switch in DD in and Thunderbolt the Urshifu slot. It's either going to Sucker or Wicked Blow, and if it's Sucker it's great, if it's Wicked Blow it's less great, but we definitely want Terrain back up now, the Trick Room's up. And ideally, Armarouge would be able to attack, finish off Ogerpon. Okay, so we went for the Sucker Punch. And no redirection from Ogerpon, so we get our Thunderbolt here. And the game's pretty much over in our favor for now. So Armor Cannon and Expanding Force are both neutral, but because we have the terrain up, we're definitely going to Expanding Force here. There's not a whole lot left that this Ogerpon can do, because it can't scratch the Raging Bolt, so it's just going to sit there and sort of flounder. Well, Expanding Force with Thunderbolt is probably going to attack Armarouge or Spiky Shield just by a turn. Yeah, that's fine. And this just proves the value of having Torkoal on Psyspam teams in general when you have Armarouge. Even when you're not playing with Lilligan, like this team, allowing Armarouge to take that Ivy Cudgel is pretty incredible. And there goes game 1 of round 4. Okay, so for game 2, we saw Glamora Urshifu lead, and we saw Entei and Ogre in the back. I liked how a lot of that went, but it came too close to comfort a couple times. But I think we can run it back pretty safely. And if he changes up his leads, we'll just change up what we're doing against them. Alright, so what do we got? So we switched the leads of Ogerpon and Glamora. It's a good thing that we didn't stop to consider bringing in Lillikoal instead. I think this changes pretty much nothing on the team and how we're playing, and just makes our start better, because we don't have to waste a Terra. Follow me, Trick Room, do the same thing. Indeedee maybe goes down here, maybe it doesn't. If we can get Torkoal out safely on the next turn, we'll be in a very good position. Okay, so there's a Cudgel into Indeedee, which doesn't KO, and then there's the Meteor Beam. If it misses, it's actually worse for me, so I'm hoping it hits. Yep, that's fine. Alright, so if we go Eruption plus Expanding Force and Terra Armarouge defensively, actually we're gonna double into Glamora and Terra, and we'll Meteor Beam and Eruption. Because I kind of want the boost. I want the boost from Meteor Beam right now, and if Glamora tries to Sludge Bomb us, it shouldn't survive Meteor Beam plus Eruption unless they go Follow Me Sludge Bomb. It's a lot of effort. Okay, so Water Terra from the Ogre Pond, which makes sense because then it would just sort of get flatlined by Eruption plus Expanding Force. Does he see the Follow Me plus Sludge Bomb line? Okay, he doesn't. He just doesn't want to get killed by those things, which is fair. Glamora's not super bulky. Meteor Beam should take this out. Okay, so there's the Ivy Cudgel, and that's how much it does without the crit. Yeah, we just eat those. This Ogre Pond is hitting harder than the other ones I've seen, so this one would probably KO with the crit. Okay, so there's the Dark Urshifu. I feel like we're going to have to just go Expanding Force Heat Wave and hope for the burn on Urshifu, because that's probably going to be like a Follow Me or a Spiky Shield. We do survive Wicked Blow or Close Combat here, though, because we're Terra'd out of the weakness. Okay. Okay, just double threat, that's fine. That's like the least scary thing my opponent could do right now. I'm still slightly more concerned for Shifu than Ogre Pond now that I think about it. So No, I'm not going to Armor Cannon. I wanted to say I was going to Armor Cannon because I want to make my opponent follow me. But then I don't have the special defense. All the physical defense and special defense drop. That's not very good. So, yeah, also Expanding Force and Heat Wave again. Same hopes. This also punishes with the Ogre Pawn if he goes for Follow Me, because then she's not really doing anything with it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it doesn't affect her Shifu. But her Shifu's not really doing a whole lot back to me. So my opponent has one Pokemon left, and odds are higher than not that it's going to be a Pokemon that doesn't have Protect. I'm guessing he wouldn't bring Tornadus here. So... okay. Entei was less ideal, because now we can't attack her Shifu, but her Shifu also might just Protect here. So we're going to go Expanding Force and Earth Power. That should take out the Entei guaranteed, and if her Shifu doesn't see that line, he's probably going to go for the Protect as well. At this point, we can let your Shifu live, because we're going to always have two targets in front of it, and something's going to hit it. So the bigger concern is taking out the Entei before we can snarl our Armarouge. There's the Protect from Rishifu, just like we were expecting. Excellent read on our end. So there's the Earth Power. Can we get that special defense drop? No. But does that KO with the +1 stab terrain through Assault Vest? There we go. Twisted Dimensions return to normal. The terrain is gone, but it does not matter. My opponent cannot hit me with both Pokemon. He cannot hit both Pokemon, possibly. So, there we go. He gets to nab 1 KO before the game is over. I'll give him that. But we have Raging Bolt in the back, so even if this doesn't kill somehow, there's not a single thing he can do. And that leaves us at 3-1 after going 2-0 in round 4. Alright, so we got Raging Bolt, we got Tornadus, Flutter Mane, Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Rapid Strike Urshifu. We got a pretty just bread and butter balanced kind of team here. Covert Cloak, Steel Terra Torn. Raging Bolt. Got the Booster Terra Electric, so this one wants to hit really hard. Specs, Fairy, Lettermane with Mystical Fire, interesting. Throat Chop on the Incineroar, and no knockoff. No Wood Hammer on the Rillaboom. And Shifu is Scarfed with Water Terra, U-Turn, Combat, Aqua Jet, Surging Strikes. I think Lilligant and DD is a pretty strong lead into this team, because we can switch into the Torkoal and Sleep Powder just about anything. Oh, but there's the Rain Dance on the Torn. Well, depending on what Torn leads with, we might be able to like get off a Sleep Powder and Trick Room and then sweep in the back. If he doesn't lead Torn, Lillikoal goes very strong. And Raging Bolt with Water Weather Ball has potential to hit pretty hard as well. I'm going to give this a try. Because there's also something to be said that like my opponent might not expect me to bring Lillikoal just because like, oh, I've got Rain Dance. Why would he play into that? Oh. Got the Hisuian Lilligant in the profile picture, that's great. Okay, so we did go Tornursh, but that's okay. So we're gonna go Sleep Powder into Tornadus and follow me on DD. If he goes for the Rain Dance, then we just are perfect. Like, if he goes for the Rain Dance and we Sleep Powder, the next turn he's guaranteed to still be asleep. Okay. Okay, that's mildly irritating, but it's not the worst thing we're seeing. Now, I don't think Tornadus is going to stay in, but even if it does, it shouldn't take too little from Solar Blade. Rillaboom is probably just going to Fake Out or U-turn, so we're just going to switch into a Torkoal here. Tornadus might be switched into... Okay, it's not switching. I can say, like, he's staying asleep right now, so I could have seen the Tornadus switching into, for example, like Urshifu. There's no way he's going to Fake Out the Indeedee slot, because... Like, what's Indeedee doing? This definitely won't OHKO, but it'll do a lot. I think it should be a 2-KO. Nice and clean. Okay, so... Are we going to see the Urshifu again, or are we going to see something new? Raging Bolt, huh? Raging Bolt with the Electric Terra. We're going to Sleep Powder that, and... Eruption. If he wants to burn his Terra... Okay, so he's probably gonna Thunderclap Torque. Okay. Okay, so Tornadus had another turn of sleep. Okay, so... Tornadus has been asleep for how many turns? It is... Turn... So we've used 2 Sleep Powders and 1 Solar Blade, so it's turn 3. So it's had 2 sleep turns. I think we Solar Blade Tornadus and Prey, and we switch Indeedee into... to replace Torkoal, so that we can keep our Source of Sun. Ooh, is that a switch into a Rillaboom? Oh, that's nice. If Torkoal's... if Torn stays asleep here, golden. That's unfortunate. So... I think we don't switch Torkoal in here. I think we just follow me so that they can't double into Lilligant. Torn can't protect, and it'll still die to Solar Blade, and then we'll have our Sun back after. And if he doesn't switch out Rillaboom this turn, he doesn't get his Grassy Terrain back. Okay, so no switch. Oh, it might still U-turn. So goes for the Tailwind. That's okay. Urshifu's still gonna have to use Surging Strikes to take out Lilligant, and with the Sun it might not OHKO. And I think only Urshifu will outspeed us in Tailwind. Oh, I guess his power is lowered in Rain as well, that's probably it. I think we follow me in close combat now. And that should take out the Tornadus. Okay, so our Shifu's gonna be locked into Surging Strikes, so that's good. And Tornadus should go down to this close combat after the Bleak Windstorm, of course. Just don't give me the speed drop. That would be really awkward. Okay. Okay, so our Shifu's probably going to want to switch out and change its move. So we're going to Sleep Powder Urshifu and switch Torkoal to Raging Bolt. Oh yeah, I guess that's the answer too. So we're not really concerned about that Urshifu regardless now, so we're gonna probably expect it to switch. Yeah, so I think we go for Protect on Torkoal and Weather Ball into Rillaboom. If it was going to go for Surging Strikes into Torkoal, there's not a whole lot we can do anyway. Thunderclap takes it out, but Thunderclap is too much of a risk. Because we Thunderclap Ursh, and we attack Rillaboom with like Torkoal. Potentially we're getting no KOs, and we're down to one Pokemon. Yeah, see, there's the Withdraw. There's a high horsepower. That says a lot. Okay. I don't feel super cozy with this game now. But I know how we adapt. Oh, the Raging Bull's asleep. I forgot about that. Okay, that changes everything. Because Thunderclap should absolutely take out Urshifu with the Photosynthesis. And my Torkoal is the Aqua Jet? Okay. I completely forgot that my opponent's Raging Bolt was asleep. Okay, so now he's locked into Aqua Jet. So if my opponent stays asleep this turn... Oh, actually, we probably survive. Okay, so we'll Earth Power and we'll... Actually, let's Earth Power and Thunderclap, and that should take it out. I don't know. Yeah, we'll Dragon Pulse and Earth Power. So Aqua Jet, and it does KO, okay. Ah, crit, that's why. So it comes down to, does it wake up and KO me? It does not. And it lives just barely. But Thunderclap should take it out. Aqua Jet won't really do anything to me. Oh, he used his own Thunderclap, okay. So, here's where things tend to get a little bit complicated. If I Thunderclap and my opponent Thunderclaps, I'm not going to hit him. But if he Thunderclaps me, he's not doing as much damage, and he's risking that as well. I'm going to, on that gamble, not Thunderclap this turn. But it really comes down to a coin flip. Okay, so my opponent did Thunderclap. We survived this. Dragon Pulse KOs. Okay. And now... I don't see how my opponent gets out of this. The Aqua Jet doesn't really do a whole lot. What a very well played out game. So Aqua Jet does that. Like what? Pennies. It would kill us in 3 or 4 hits. Thunderbolt cleanly takes out Urshifu here though. Easy, breezy, beautiful, Raging Bolt. Alright, so while that game demonstrated that bringing Lillikoal against Tornursh isn't always bad, we definitely were fighting an uphill battle a lot of the time, and I'm not sure if it's worth it, like, trying to play cheeky like that. We're pretty well positioned to the rest of the team otherwise, and we basically led Lillikoal on the hopes that they wouldn't bring Tornursh, not expecting us to bring Lillikoal. So I think we're just going to bring all the traditional good stuff this time around. We'll just bring Armarouge and DD, Torkoal, and Raging Bolt. Yep, seems fine here. Alright. So this time we saw a Fluttermane and an Urshifu. The Fluttermane specs, and it's gonna lock likely into Dazzling Gleam or Shadow Ball No way it's going to do Mystic Fire with an Armarouge on the field. Dazzling Gleam is possibly scary if a Terra is MB Terra, so I think we're just going to do the old-fashioned Follow Me Trick Room here. The worst case scenario is going to be like Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam plus U-Turn, which might take out Indeedee and leave us in a position where Rillaboom can take advantage of the terrain. But now Rillaboom also won't be able to Terra Fire to get around Eruption. So I'm guessing there's going to be a Dazzling Gleam coming my way. If it's Moonblast, I don't know if it's that better or worse, to be honest. Okay, there's the U-Turn. So it's going to be a Rillaboom. Dazzling Gleam, we might live. Yeah. Interestingly, we win 2. We live 2 even. Okay, now we're gonna switch out Indeedee to preserve terrain. Ooh, I should know. We're gonna Dazzling Gleam and Meteor Beam since we know we live one of the Dazzling Gleams. Because I'm mildly concerned about giving Fluttermane the boost. Okay, that's fine. Knowing that we survive 1 Dazzling Gleam, this puts us in an incredibly favorable position. We've seen the whole team now. They only have 1 Protect on Raging Bolt. Armarouge can pretty cleanly sweep through everything. Like, I know this doesn't kill it, but the combination does a pretty decent chunk. Jeez, that's a soft Raging... Oh yeah, it was a crit. I was gonna say, that's a soft Raging Bolt. Yeah, that Dazzling Gleam doesn't get the KO. He now has 1 Protect he can use, like, once, really. Nothing that can safely switch into my stuff. We are boosted. Yeah, okay. So we just start spamming Thunderbolt and Psychic Expanding Force. He can't turn off terrain. He can't protect. So, because I didn't bring Psyspam game 1, I guess my opponent didn't expect me to bring it Psyspam like this game 2, and he's definitely playing into a Lillikoal game. So, we did great. Oh, it's a good thing we went for the Thunderbolt into the Fluttermane. There was no reason not to, so it's a good thing we did. I'm surprised to survive that Expanding Force. Normally, the plus from Meteor Beam is so Fluttermane's die to Expanding Force. Okay, so my opponent can make it rain and still continue to not do a whole lot, so he can just Expanding Force Thunderbolt again. Oh, he just didn't want to play it out. I guess that makes sense. Anticlimactic for the last round of the Swiss, but gives us time to chill between rounds. Alright, we are in the top cut of the Gertie's Gaming Tour, and we are facing off against James again, who I believe we faced round 4? Yes, round 4. Okay, so we're going to play around Glamora again. Ogerpon wasn't the super best lead for it, so we're probably going to see Urshifu again. I think we're fine to go Armarouge and Indeedee. And have... I admit I don't fully remember everything I brought last time, but I think we're fine to do it like... this? Yes.
Okay, so Glamora and Flutter. Now that's a new one. I think that's still one of the better leads for them to bring against me, in terms of, like, for me. Because there's not really anything that stops Follow Me Trick Room here. Unfortunately for my opponent, he expressed during our last round in the chat that he does not find he has a very good Psyspam matchup. And I can kind of see it. He has Protect on Moms that we don't like would rather have the extra move. He doesn't have Rain Dance to shut down Torkoal. His team is mostly one that once we get Trick Room up, we just sort of go to town. Oh, that crit Moonblast almost was horrible. It's nice to know we survived that, but oh my god. That's horrific. The nice thing, though, is they are locked into Moonblast. So now we can just sort of do what we want. Glamora won't be able to survive a Terrafire Eruption plus Meteor Beam, regardless of what it does. But I think we still go Meteor Beam into the Flutter slot first, in case Flutter survives, or in case there's a good switch in there. Or do we Terra? No, we Terra. It's okay if we lose Armarouge here, if it means we're... I don't know. No, we don't Terra. It won't make a difference. Because... like, the Protect is probably the most likely thing to be happening here. If they go with the Grass Terra, that'll be funny. Yeah, I didn't think they would. Oh, I mean, we're Terraing first anyway. There's no switches, so that's important. So it should be, if Flutter dies to Eruption and Glamora doesn't Protect, Glamora will go down to Meteor Beam as well. There's the Protect from the Glamora. Okay, so we overthought about the Meteor Beam target for no reason. It didn't matter. Okay, so there's the Ogerpon. So now we're pretty clean. Just go Expanding Force Eruption. If Ogerpon Terras, I don't think it survives both. And if Glamora doesn't Terra, it gets cooked by Expanding Force. If Glamora Terras, then Ogerpon definitely doesn't survive Expanding Force. I can see my opponent wanting me to go like Earth Power into the Glamora so that the Expanding Force would deal more damage to Ogerpon. But we're not going to do that. Oh wait, no, they can't Terra. They already, no, they didn't Terra. I was thinking of a different game. They can Terra. But they didn't. That's fine. Okay, so that's 2 down. And let's see what the last Pokemon is. If it's... I mean,
pretty much no matter what it is, we're gonna go after you expanding force eruption. We have to just accept that Urshifu isn't gonna be like Armarouge is just gonna be gone in a moment. So yeah, we're just gonna expanding force and eruption. Maybe there's a protect from the Urshifu. Maybe we should click Heat Wave. This is one of those moments we would click Heat Wave. We should still be okay though, because if this takes out the Ogerpon, we're going to get into a position where it's a 1v2 with the Urshifu, and as per other games, Urshifu won't be able to take out both of my Pokemon. Oh, it just detects. Why did he detect? The Wicked Blow and Armarouge is pretty free here. And I'm pretty sure Ogerpon doesn't survive this onslaught. At +1, the Expanding Force should finish off from here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so even if this is the last turn of Terrain and Trick Room, I'm not paying enough attention. It doesn't make a difference anymore. Okay, yeah. Armor Cannon Eruption. He can double detect and still be in the same spot. But I think we're going to go to game 2 here. So, based on what we just saw, I think the one thing we would change is we're going to have Raging Bolt in the back. And maybe we had it the first time, I just don't really remember. It's been a long night, and in between the games I'm recording for this tournament, I'm also editing the video that this team is originally about, which is going to be uploaded before this video is. I'm just recording this tournament because I'm editing that video, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm playing with the same team today. Let's get some extra footage, right? If I don't know if this is going to be all in one video or not. If you watched it this far, if it is, I really appreciate you. Go ahead and say, like, I love Psyspam in the comments or something. Say Prague told you to say I love Psyspam if you got this far. Entei and Ursh. King Gambit would have been pretty good here. I think maybe that's why we brought King Gambit in the first ones. So we're gonna Terra Grass Armarouge and Meteor Beam into Entei. I'm expecting he's not preferring to attack in DD. We're taking kind of a risk here. But big potential if it pays off. If he goes for Wicked Blow into Armarouge, then we get a free KO on Entei, or maybe not a KO, but like we deal a lot of damage to Entei. Yep, there we go. I'm guessing that's going to be a Snarl or a Stomping Tantrum. Perfect. So now we're going to get the Meteor Beam. That's going to hit Entei. And Armarouge has actually kind of done its job here. So, Next turn we're to Expanding Force because Entei can't protect. Urshifu's probably... Oh, he's... Oh. These types of things happen from time to time, I suppose. We're gonna double into the Urshifu then, because the Entei is less scary to other things on the team. Or actually, is it? No, we can clown on Urshifu, actually. We're gonna Expanding Force and Dazzling Gleam. So that we can break the sash. It's nice to be reminded why we would have brought King Gambit, at least. So that's about half without the boost. If he attacks Armarouge, it's pretty much fine. And then... I'm guessing King Urshifu will protect this turn. But even if it doesn't, I don't think we're screwed. So, yeah, because it's not going to Wicked Blow and like Oko or our Raging Bolt. So we're going to Thunderbolt into the Entei slot, expecting not a single switch that really we care about. And we're going to switch in Torkoal. Without a Snarl attack drop, and with Photosynthesis boost, hopefully the Thunderbolt punches through. And I don't think there's anything he wants to switch in that can really comfortably take it either. I guess the most ideal situation would be Urshifu Detect and a switch into like Glamora or Fluttermane. But that's pretty wishful thinking. I'm guessing we get a switch or a Protect, but not both. Okay, there's the Protect, but there's no switch. That's fine. I'm guessing you just go for the Snarl. Hopefully the Thunderbolt KOs. Oh, that's pretty annoying. But that's okay, because we still do hit really hard. We can more afford to keep Torkoal in here, so we'll just switch Raging Bolt for Indeedee really quick to get that special attack back, and we'll Eruption. Even with the drop, we're Sunny, we have Charcoal. It's only half health. I don't think Urshifu survives this. I know Entei doesn't. Okay, so we bring out Indeedee. And, oh, the double Protect is pretty annoying. It's okay. There's one Pokemon down, it's a 3v3. And the Urshifu's half health and we have Trick Room up. So what comes out next? If it's Glamora, I think we're still gonna play around it for Terra-ing. Even though we hasn't done it in any of the other games we played. Because now this is the situation where he's gonna want it to Terra. Okay. Helping Hand or Heat Wave. Urshifu's gonna hard switch, or there's no way he goes for a triple Detect. I'm guessing Gorger's gonna Terra, it's gonna try and KO Torkoal. Hopefully we get a burn with Heat Wave. And then we can just cripple the thing. But the good news is, now he's burned his Terra on a Pokemon that just falls to Raging Bolt. Okay. So now we're pushing the most damage we can out of this Heat Wave. Oh, don't tell me Urshifu has avoided it. Okay, that's fine. Ogerpon's mildly annoying, but Urshifu was the one that needed a hit. Is that into Indeedee or Torkoal? We live. And there's no Trick Room anymore. But there's Sun. So we can live most of what's thrown at us, depending on what's next. Glamora. I think actually we go Follow Me. I'm going to Earth Power the Glamora. Because if it comes down to Ogerpon versus Bolt, I'm pretty sure Bolt just wins. Ivy Cudgel shouldn't 2-ko and DD into Sun. So even if he goes for... Okay, didn't go for Spiky Shield. This shouldn't kill. DD is bulky, it's sunny. Yeah, it does nothing. So my opponent goes for his Meteor Beam. Mine missed, so if there's good karma in the world, my opponents will miss as well. But I won't bet on it. Yeah, of course not. And we don't live that. No. Does Earth Power take the KO? Is what's going to come down to now. Perfect. Okay, well, their Meteor Beam didn't miss, but we got a crit. That's, you know, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. I won't look a Gift Spectrier in the mouth. And now my opponent pretty much has nothing. How many turns of Sun left? This is the last one, so he probably protects. I'd say we go for Thunderclap just in case he tries to attack the Torkoal, and we'll Heat Wave, I guess. Yeah, makes sense. My opponent technically has a shot, but it's not a very good one. I'm really confused about the Terra on the Ogerpon here, or even really bringing the Ogerpon. So we can take at least one Ivy Cudgel for sure, so we can Thunderbolt it. We'll protect a Torkoal expecting the Cudgel, but even if he Cudgels into Raging Bolt, we take at least one. I think. I will definitely have to plug in my controller between rounds, because that's getting concerningly low. Oh yeah, we take plenty of those. And now we get it. Now he's for sure in Thunderclap range, and he can protect if he wants, or the game's over. And that is the first round of Top Cut in the Gertie's Gaming Tournament, so that puts us into top 4. Good game again, James, and I hope I see you again in the next tournament. We are against the Big Mackie. He's an opponent we faced quite a few times in these online tournaments. He's featured in the Armarouge bonus video as well as one of our opponents in that tournament. So I've seen this team of his before. It's like a mix of Hyper Offense Rain and Iron Crown Psyspam. I haven't had a whole lot of luck beating it with Balance when I played other Balance teams in these tournaments, but with Trick Room, I usually have pretty good games. So we're not really concerned with that Iron Crown, like, at all. It doesn't do... like, Armarouge resists all those hits. So... these guys Rain Dance. With Sandsear Storm, we have that. That's what we have the Grass Terror for on Armarouge. And if we don't see a Landorus, then we just have Armarouge. I'd say we want to go... between him having Psychic Terrain and me having Psychic Terrain and a bunch of things that resist Dark, we're not, like, super comfy bringing King Gambit. So I think we can just go like this. I would like to bring Eldering Lilligant, but 2 Follow Me Pokemon is a lot. One Follow Me Pokemon, like one Ogerpon, is usually a reason to not bring Lilligant. But 2 is a bit much. Okay. So, This is complicated. But if my math is right, if my calcs are right, Landorus can't OHKO and DD. Ogerpon might be able to, though. But I'm not sure if he's going to blow his Terra like that right away. I would say for at least game 1, Terra Grass, Follow Me, Trick Room is the safe play. So there is a Terra from the Ogerpon. Okay, so we're going to watch the Indeedee go down, and we're just going to have to see if he goes for the Earth Power Sandseer or the Sludge Bomb. So let's see what happens. That probably OHKOs. Oh, it did not! I don't know if that's a roll or not. I'm pretty sure max attack does OHKO, so it must be Jolly or maybe have some bulk. Okay, but that's perfect. Okay, so we bring in Torkoal, and the reason for this is that Landorus can't take an Eruption, and so it's the safest thing to attack next to Armarouge. Eruption plus Meteor Beam is a pretty safe bet to go with this turn. I'm assuming we're just going to get a double Protect, but the double Protect is also better, because then we can just start spamming Expanding Force. Yeah, there's the Spiky Shield from Ogerpon, but he's the slower one, so that means Landorus is trying to attack. So Landorus survived this Eruption. On the bright side, even if it doesn't... Okay, no, sorry. On the bright side, even if it did live, it can only KO one of my Pokemon, and it was probably going to be Torkoal. And I don't know if he realizes that's better for me. So unfortunately we ding off the Spiky Shield, but we have the special attack boost now. So even if there's something bulky coming out, it's not going to be really wanting to take Expanding Force. But what's left on the team? He may have his Iron Crown because he expected me to set my own terrain. Okay, so Tornadus. Rain Dance is fine here. Protect from Tornadus is fine here. Ogerpon cannot survive the Expanding Force. Rain Dance is actually the better play for me. Protect is just delaying the inevitable. Okay, so we tried to double Protect. I guess that makes sense. There's the Rain Dance, and now the Expanding Force should just clean up them both. Wow. That's some bulk on them both. My gosh. Okay, we're fine though. Not really a whole lot to do. It's probably just gonna protect. Expanding Force. I don't understand. I keep expecting I expected the Tornadus to click Protect there, but I guess I mean, maybe it's a team sheet error, or maybe it just doesn't have Protect. I don't see any good reason not to click Protect there. Now we have one more turn of Trick Room. That Ogerpon most likely not able to protect, but even if it does, then we have priority. Iron Crown's probably protecting. So I think we Expanding Force, and in case Iron Crown doesn't protect, or he thinks he can live what we throw at him, we're just gonna Weather Ball it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so he doesn't get the double spiky shield. It goes down to expanding force. Now, I am fairly certain that Iron Crown will not be able to one-shot Raging Bolt. It doesn't have the. It's not going to have the terrain boost anymore. Focus Blast is Focus Blast. It's got Focus Blast. Tachyon Cutter is not very effective. So I don't see any reason why we don't just switch to Torkoal and we Weather Ball the Iron Crown. That should cleanly take it out. Oh, I forgot to charge my controller. I said I was going to charge it after that last round. Okay, so we went for a Tachyon Cutter into Armarouge, or was it Armarouge? Yeah, it was Armarouge. And the Weather Ball should finish it. Clean. Okay, so game 2 of top 4. We won game 1. So my opponent led with Landorus and Ogerpon, and we were able to take the Ivy Cudgel from Ogerpon as Ndidi, and that was surprising. It led to us being in a pretty perfect spot, and he did go for the Earth Power. So I don't know if we're going to waste our Terra again, actually, because we survived the Ivy Cudgel once. If we find out now it's a roll, we find out it's a roll. But I know most Tailwind, like Adamant Ivy Cudgels, Oko me. So I don't know if a Jolly one always does. I'm not going to look it up now because that's not really like fair in a tournament, but I don't know if that's because he's got bulk investment. Well, actually, he survived that expanding force when I really didn't expect him to, so there must be some... It might be even like a water pond spread, but on a fire pond. Okay, I figured out if that was booster speed crown, or is it special attack? Okay, it is special attack. So the Landorus should outspeed it. So I'm thinking if he goes for the double spread move, it is really awkward. I'm gonna... We're going to follow me Trick Room and just... Okay. Okay, so that expanding force is going to hit like a truck. So it's a good thing we did not Terra Armarouge. Does Landorus go for Sandseer, or does he go for Earth Power to guarantee the hit? Okay, he does go for Sandseer. If we survive this expanding force, it'll be useful to know next game. Okay. Okay, so that's the play. What can I do about this? No, we're in quite a pickle, aren't we? that expanding force is gonna hurt. I'm just gonna Thunderbolt the crown, I guess. We probably lose though. Okay, so he did go for the attack into the NDD. How much should we take from this expanding force? Oh my good lord. Too much. Yeah, we don't really have any outs here. Okay, so Iron Crown and Landorus lead was pretty strong, and I imagine he'll use that again because he probably thinks there's no way, like, I don't have a way around that. What I think we're going to do is something really reckless. But that will work against this team. Yeah, we don't need Torkoal here. Rain doesn't really bother us. In fact, we can take advantage of the rain with Weather Ball. So I think Lilligant and Indeedee, because Lilligant's going to be outspeeding the Iron Crown, I'm nearly positive. Yeah, so Iron Crown with Expanding Force and a Landorus. Iron Crown clicks Expanding Force, probably Terra's again. And make sure, maybe it doesn't Terra, it doesn't, I'm not sure. And yeah, so he does do the same lead. He thinks he's got the lock. So we do this. There's no reason for me to Terra with either of my Pokemon. We won't outspeed either of them, I don't think, but it is still possible. So we're gonna after you, and we're in a Trick Room. And ideally, Lilligant goes down here, but this is a really good, like, suicide to get what we need lead. I don't even care if they both go down. Armarouge and Raging Bolt would be able to theoretically clean up the game. Okay, so opponent's burning his Terra right away. Is he going for the Psychic? He is. Okay, so there's your power into Indeedee. And it doesn't KO. We after you, and we got a Trick Room up. Now he goes for the... Now we get the trick, yeah. Now it goes for Expanding Force. If it KOs and crits Indeedee, we're fine. I don't want to risk Landorus, like, attacking. So we're just gonna follow me. And hopefully Sleep Powder or something. Okay, that's fine. I mean, he's probably just gonna go for Expanding Force again, but... yeah. We don't care about anything that Tornadus is doing. I guess he's expecting Torkoal in the back. Maybe he expected me to switch to Torkoal even. But now... the one that's a bigger deal if it protects is definitely Iron Crown. Tornadus we're not super concerned about at all. But Iron Crown also can't really hurt Armarouge. So we're gonna Thunderbolt into the Iron Crown slot and Meteor Beam towards Tornadus. If they both protect, that's fine. If it's just okay. So of the two possible attackers in the back, one doesn't have Protect if it comes out in the Trick Room. The other one can't really hurt Armarouge. So we're in a pretty decent spot right now. I always forget which is harder. Okay, that's Thunderbolt. There's a small chance you'd expect me to Armor Cannon there to go for the Ring Dance, but I don't even know if the Armor Cannon would be smart, or the Ring Dance would be smart. Now, is that thing squishy? Does that thing go down to this Thunderbolt? I hope so. Oh, that's rough. That's okay, though. Oh, yeah, we're fine. Like, let's assume that's Landorus in the back, right? Yeah. How many turns is Trick Room left? Oh, it's one. Okay. Doesn't work quite as well as I'd hoped. Yeah. I guess the safer play would have just been to bring something that can protect and just do the trick rooms in DD. So we have to hope he goes for Sandsear and then misses Armarouge and doesn't KO and does not KO Raging Bolt. That is how we get out of this. It's a long shot, but we have an out. Or he could have just gone Overpower and Raging Bolt, but that's less likely. Yeah, Overpower and Armarouge, I figured. Alright, that's how we finish. Overall, I'm still happy with how the team performed, and I figured out how I would have approached this matchup differently after the 3 games.
If you made it to the end here, thank you so much for watching. Congratulations to Maki for taking first place in the tournament.